Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Earl Bryant coming at you from the New York City suburbs of Long Island with another Pearl from Earl. And those were the first lines of a 1956 song by the Platters called The Great Pretender. And they have a lot to do with today's Pearl from Earl, which is called Always Keep It Real. Two of the greatest frauds in sports in the 20th century and early 21st century were Rosie Ruiz and John Spanos. Rosie Ruiz was known for her infamous acts of fraud at the New York City Marathon in 1979 and the Boston Marathon in 1980. She claimed to have finished both in record time. But the examination post-race, particularly at the Boston event, didn't add up because her physical condition did not match that of someone who had run an entire course. And the people in New York found her claim suspicious, especially when a woman came forward who said that she met Rosie on the subway on the way to the final leg of the race. And this woman says that as they got off the train, Rosie disappeared. And as it turned out, Rosie appeared at a runner's tent claiming that she was an injured runner. And she was able to get clocked as having completed the race. And her time dubiously qualified her to run in the Boston Marathon the following spring, where that other fraud took place. And as a result, she was disqualified from both events. And to this day, she still claims that she ran both, claimed that she was going to prove her innocence and prove her honesty by running those races again, but to this day, that has not happened. In the case of John Spanos, he claimed to be a businessman from Dallas, Texas, and he's fairly well known in this area because he put in a bid to purchase a hockey team not far from here called the New York Islanders. It was going to be a new era in Islanders history. He was going to bring the team back to former glory. You know, the whole song and dance, blah, blah, blah. But some things did not add up with him. In fact, the league and the selling owner really didn't do their due diligence, to be fair. And what happened was, one particular event stood out more than most. He was supposed to have sent a wire payment to either the league or one of the banks to help to facilitate his purchase of the team. And he was supposed to have sent something around $1.5 million. And what he sent was actually $1.5 thousand. It's obvious there were some zeros missing. He tried to bluff and bluster his way through it. He tried to dance around it, but it all caught up with him, and he eventually was revealed as a fraud, and he was arrested for wire fraud and a bunch of other charges, and naturally, he lost ownership of the team. Now, what John and Rosie had in common was that all their attempts to make themselves legitimate and to turn themselves into big shots, so to speak, basically crashed and burned, and they wound up being a pariah and a watchword, and their credibility was shot, and they're not to be believed or trusted even to this day. Now, you might wonder, if you're looking at me and you're owning a business, what's that got to do with you or me or anyone who wants to be successful in business? The point is very simply this: be real, be genuine, be you. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to be all that in a bag of chips when you know you don't have anything to put in the bag. It is perfectly okay for you to say, like in my case, for example, I could tell you I'm on a journey of discovery. I am learning from a group of people who are teaching me how to become a more effective marketer. Join me on my journey of discovery so that you can learn how to become a proficient, more excellent professional marketer too, so that you can learn how to market any business you choose and be paid for it as a result. Because they're teaching me how to do it, and they're teaching me tactics and strategies and secrets that I don't know about yet. As opposed to someone that I knew a few short years ago who pretended to be a big shot, who pretended to be successful, pretended to be a millionaire, pretended that they had a whole lot going on, and suspiciously, they always talked about what they used to have, what they used to do, and who they used to be. Which reminded me of a quote I've heard from Les Brown on more than one occasion. He said, "Excuse me, used to be's don't make no honey." I think about that quote whenever I think about that person, because I also found it very suspicious that when I was around other people for training within the team and the organization, she did her best to keep me from talking to certain people and having certain people talk to me. And she would only introduce me to certain other folks that she felt like she could trust. Now, the reason for that was very simply this. All these other people that she's trying to keep me away from actually knew her backstory. And as time would have it, I did get a chance to talk to all these people, and they explained to me that all these things she talked about that she used to have and used to do and used to be, she never actually did. She was just pretending. And she was the one who always told me, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But here's the deal. If your first impression isn't genuine, it doesn't matter what you do to make a good impression, because sooner or later, if you are perpetrating a fraud up front and someone finds out later on that you were basically lying to them and feeding them a line, they're going to wonder, well, when exactly were you going to tell me the truth? You see, sometimes the truth is actually the best. They do say honesty is the best policy. Well, there's actually some validity to that. It's perfectly okay to say that you don't know everything. It's perfectly okay to say that you have just begun, that you're on the journey, that you're on the way, that you're learning how to get things done. You don't have to be an expert at every single thing, and you certainly don't have to pretend to be an expert at every single thing. You can just say, look, I'm on this journey. This is what I'm learning. This is what I've learned so far. Let me show you what I've learned. Let me show you what I've discovered. Let me help you. That's perfectly okay. And that way you can be genuine, you can be real. And as I had some friends tell me recently, the softest pillow is a clear conscience. If you know you did your best, even if you don't know everything, then you're going to be perfectly at peace with yourself because you did your best to help other folks. And even if you don't know everything, you can at the very least point them in the right direction and help them to get the assistance that they need, even if you can't provide it yourself. So what I'm saying to you through this very short but sweet message is this. Don't be a pariah. Don't be a proverb and a watchword. Don't be that person that the Platters sang about, being the great pretender, pretending that you're doing well. Don't be Rosie Ruiz. Don't be John Spanos, because their credibility was shot full of holes like Swiss cheese, and it's going to be hard to come back from that. Be real, be genuine, be you. And even if you haven't arrived yet, at the very least, you can relate to people who are on the same journey with you, and you can travel the road to greater heights together. And that is today's Pearl from Earl. It's my hope you got some value from that, and if you did, please give me a like, a thumbs up, share with some friends who you believe can benefit from this information, and subscribe also, especially if you're watching me on YouTube. As I said earlier, I am learning from people who are teaching me how to be a more proficient, more professional, more excellent marketer. They're showing me how to do it the right way so that I can draw the people that are meant to work with me and that I'm meant to serve so I can help them to become more excellent too. If you would like the opportunity to meet these people and see if they can help you on your journey to discovery, what I recommend is that you click the link that I've put in my bio so you can get a chance to meet them for yourself. You can even take a 10-day risk-free test drive for all of $10 to find out what they can do to help you to become more proficient, more professional, and more excellent. And it's refundable, so that if at the end of 10 days you feel like it's not your cup of tea, you can always get your money back. Short and simple, short and sweet. But that is it in a nutshell. This has been a Pearl from Earl. I hope you got some value from it. And until the next time, when we gather around for a Pearl from Earl, this is Earl Bryan signing off from the somewhat windy and breezy and chilly suburbs of New York City, aka Strong Island, Long Island, New York. Saying take care, be well, be blessed and not stressed, be real, be genuine, and make it a great 2019. Bye for now.